Quick recap and then we'll do the Q&A. Currently, since Monday, we've been getting the second fix of the electric store. That basically means we're going to have electricity very soon. I think maybe on Thursday we're going to have electricity all over the house, which means we can finally get a Hoover. We're getting the new plug sockets put on, we're getting the new light switches installed, spotlights installed, and yeah, we're going to have electricity very, very soon, which is great because I haven't had electricity since basically February. Since we moved in, we had it cut off completely. We're also getting a new fuse box, which was £200. Quite a lot of money. We definitely need a new one because the one that we've currently got looks like an electrical hazard. I think if you were to touch it, you would genuinely get electrocuted. We're also getting the shower tray installed. We were going to do it ourselves, but we had to go. We cut 50mm off the 800mm shower tray to cut it down to size. Yeah, we're just not really sure how to install it, so we're going to hire someone to come and do that, and he's charging £120. It's money that we didn't really want to spend. We'd rather have the bathroom done properly. The last thing we want is a leak when we put the shower on and it all comes through the freshly done ceiling. That would literally be a disaster. So we're going to get the shower tray put in. We're going to get it all waterproof. They call it tanking when you tank the area. It's like making it waterproof because we're having kind of a semi shower room. That's basically all that's happening. The electrics, the bathroom. I've ordered some more underlay so that we can start hopefully putting the flooring down next week. Oh, and the kitchen's being delivered on Saturday. I forgot to mention, I finally ordered the kitchen. Can you believe that? 6 months, nearly 7 since getting the keys. Well, we got the keys in February and it's now August. It's just the appliances that I need to find because I haven't bought them through my kitchen company because I thought I could find cheaper elsewhere. Somehow I need to find a dishwasher, an oven, a hob and an integrated fridge freezer. Also, I'm so embarrassed. On one of my TikTok videos, I was talking about the kitchen. Instead of saying integrated, I kept saying integrated. Integrated. I think I was mixing interrogating with I can't say the word with integrated. Integration, integrated, different words. Integrated. It's integrated, not integrated. Anyway, let's get on to the Q&A. Such a basic video to do, but I put a little question box on my Instagram story the other day and basically just asked you guys to ask me questions. So I've screenshot a few. Question number 1, when did you get diagnosed with autism? As an adult or a child? I'm asking as I get told a lot that I have it. I was diagnosed in high school when I was about 15, 16. I don't think you would be able to tell that I am autistic if you were to watch my videos or maybe meet me a few times, but if you're my mum or dad or my boyfriend or you know me very well, you know that I get very emotionally overwhelmed. I think that is the biggest symptom for me, just getting very overwhelmed at everything. One of my stims is picking my fingers, which I've gone over a lot on my videos. I have dermatillomania, which is a skin picking disorder that, yeah, it affects me every day because it does really hurt. I'll put some videos, it really flipping hurts, but it's like a psychological obsession that I literally cannot stop doing it. And there's other things, like I'm not very good at making friends, I'm not very good at eye contact, even eye contact with the camera. Like I struggle with it so bad, which is weird because the camera obviously isn't an eye. And I just have different interests to people. Like, when you look at me, you probably wouldn't assume that I love Japanese anime. I sponge off other people and like I'll mirror other people. I don't really know who I am as a person. I don't know my own personality because I just mirror everyone else's. We're going to try and work on that, and I'm going to try and work on making new friends when I move house. I'm going to join a few groups and meet new people because obviously where I'm moving is 40 minutes away from where I currently live. So I feel like that gives me a good chance to have a fresh start. Not to be cringy or anything, or I don't know, it just sounds a bit weird saying out loud that I don't have many friends. I have like 1 or 2 friends. I've got one lifelong friend and then others that I've met kind of within the past 2 years. But I just find it so hard, and especially as an adult, it is so difficult to meet people. But there are a few Facebook groups because I live in the Manchester area. You've got Truly 20s, you've got Bambi, you've got Manchester Girls. There's a few groups. I mean, Bumble BFF as well. I've even tried using that. I don't know how we've ended up talking about this when the question was, how did you get diagnosed with autism? What was the question? When did you get diagnosed with autism? When I was 15, 16. Sorry, I made that such a convoluted answer. Question number 2, do you wear the mask a lot? I actually do. So every time I go around to the house, I've got health anxiety, so I always have all of the windows open and I do tend to wear the mask. The only reason that you guys don't see me wearing a mask is because when I'm filming I don't wear it because I always think you probably want to see my face, or if in every single video I'm wearing the mask, people are not going to remember what I look like. They're not even going to know what I look like. And if you've just come in across my page, you've never seen me before, you don't know what my account is about, you're not going to recognise me in other videos if I'm wearing a mask all of the time. Question number 3, the floor saga. So we paid £450 for a guy to come and screed our floor, and screeding is basically where you concrete the floor to make it level. And he said he knew what he was doing, so he came round, we checked it over when it was wet, and then he wanted paying, which should have been our first red flag. Because it was wet, we couldn't go inside to see like how it had been done. We couldn't get to the back room. He had said that it would be dry the next morning. We went round the next morning, it was not dry. We went round a few days later and it was still a bit wet, but it was more powdery than anything. It had gone really powdery, which was an issue because screed isn't supposed to be powdery, it's supposed to be solid like concrete. Yeah, I ended up messaging him. I did a little story time on this before on my TikTok. He ended up refunding us £200, but he didn't come back to fix the issue, so I had to fix the issue. I just swept up all of the dust, mixed together PVA glue and water, 1 part PVA to 4 parts water, brushed it all over the floor, and that kind of sealed all of the powder in. So far it looks okay, we're just going to hope that it stays like that. It doesn't start crumbling or going powdery again. I know a lot of people said we needed to redo it. I'm going to be so real, like we don't have the budget to pay someone else to come and do it again. I know he gave us a refund of £200, but I don't know, we'll just see when it comes round to doing the flooring. If we do need to get it redone, then we will get it redone, but because it's the front room, it's not our priority. The kitchen, the bathroom and the bedroom are our priorities. Guys, I filmed so much of that and my phone was dead, so we're gonna try it again real quickly. I've had to put my engine on to charge my phone, so hopefully you can still hear me. Okay, we'll recap some of the questions that I answered but it didn't film. You sounded, well this isn't a question but we'll just recap it anyway. You sounded so close to tears yesterday. Please don't let this floor business bring you down. Throughout a renovation project you have to cry. If you don't cry, are you even doing a renovation? Like, it is so stressful. There are things that go wrong that you would never even expect in a million years to go wrong. There's things that you have to spend loads of money on that you never even budgeted for. I would genuinely say if you are thinking of doing a renovation, at least over budget by 20% and budget 10% for just materials. Even if you don't end up spending the money on the renovation, you have it for things like furniture, couches, because who knew a couch was so expensive. I was looking at one on Sofology the other day that would be my dream couch and it was like £6,000. That's just a massive no. I cannot afford that. I need to find some second-hand furniture websites. If anyone knows any, let me know. But I've also heard this kind of hack. If you find a link to a product that you like, for example like a couch, and then you put .dupe after it, it brings up the exact same product but for like half the price. I don't know how true that is, we'll have to fact check it. Another question is, how did you and your boyfriend meet? We were 16 when we met and we met on Instagram and then we went on a kind of double date situation. We don't really live near each other, we live about 40 minutes away from each other. We went on a double date situation. I brought my friend at the time and he brought his friend at the time, and ever since then, I think the day after, we were 16 so we never expected it to be that serious, but a day after meeting he asked me to be his girlfriend and we've been together on and off ever since. We've been more on than off. We don't really count it, but there have been times where we've broken up and then we haven't been together for a few weeks. Next question, have you thought about what content to upload next? If you mean like literally what is my next video going to be, it's going to be about the shower floor being installed because that's being installed tonight, which is why I'm in my car filming this video instead of at the house doing things, because there's nothing that I can do, like workmen around there, other people are doing things. And also an electrics update because like I said, we're getting the electrics all redone and it should be finished by the end of this week. And oh, we're getting a new kitchen on Saturday, which is exciting. If you're talking more long term, what are we going to do after the renovation is finished? I genuinely don't think that it will be fully finished for years, so you have nothing to worry about. I think we're going to be going until 2027. Like honestly, we've still got the kitchen, we've still got the utility that we haven't started, we've got the back garden, the front garden, the office room. You might think, oh, we're getting the bathroom and the kitchen done. That's going to take ages as it is. They're just the rooms that we need to be done before we can move in. The other rooms around that we're going to be taking a lot more slower, and there's still DIY jobs like we need to do the built-in wardrobes to do, we've got the windowsills to do, we've got, I want to do some wallpaper feature in the bedroom, so we've got all of that to still do. And then even after the renovation is finished, I'll just do travel content, lifestyle content, more DIY content, upcycling old furniture, van renovations. I was even thinking I could get old vans, renovate them into camp vans and then sell them on for a profit, or do a raffle on them and make money on it that way. Or even just do one for myself and then go travelling, a little bit like what Charlie Jenny is doing. Go travelling around Europe in a van that I've just renovated. I think that would be such a cool series for TikTok and YouTube. Yeah, I've got so many plans for the future. I just have so many ideas. Like I want to learn Japanese, I want to move to Japan, I want to travel around America, do Route 66? There's so many things that I want to do. It's just having the time and having the money, but I'm hoping that once the renovation is done we can start saving and then start thinking about our next goals and our next projects. I keep checking my phone to check it's not dead. I can't believe I filmed like an hour of content. It didn't even film because my phone was dead. If you don't do content creation you will not understand how frustrating that is. I can't even remember what I'd mentioned. Is your underlay not upside down? The overhang has a sticky bit to attach onto. Listen, I don't know what kind of underlay you guys are using, but this is the correct way to lay this underlay. It's a DPM, so it's got a damp proof membrane, and it's also acoustic, meaning it's kind of noise cancelling. So the DPM is the silver bit, which is why it goes down to the floor, and then the flooring goes on top of the green bit. It isn't sticky, you don't peel it off. That is genuinely how it goes down, and then you overlap each section onto the silver bit and then you tape it all down. That's what the instructions said for that specific underlay. We're not having carpet, we're not having vinyl, we're not having LVT, so the underlay that we've got would work perfectly for laminate, which is what we're getting. There's just a lot of questions about the floor. How's the floor? Just the screeding, guys? Screed floor situation. Yeah, it's pretty much resolved now. I PVA'd it. I think I spoke about it before. If it filmed, I don't know if it got it on film or not. Oh, another question about the mortgage. More about the mortgage logistics process as such a young homeowner. You're in a cupboard, but we're gonna roll with it. Let me just grab my notes. What question were we up to? I feel like this video just hasn't gone to plan. We were up to talking about mortgages, I think, and I was giving like mortgage tips. Not that I know anything, but just in my experience. Before you put an offer in on a house, you're going to need something called a mortgage in principle, which is basically just a document there to prove that you can legally, and a mortgage company will give you a mortgage. I thought it was going to be a big issue because one, my credit score isn't that great. I mean, don't get me wrong, it isn't bad, but I've never really been in debt. It always makes me laugh, like you have to be in debt or you have to have been in debt to have a good credit score rating. I've never had a credit card, I've never used a credit card, I've never had bills apart from my phone bill to pay, so my credit rating was not great. It was just like in the middle because I haven't really done anything with it, but they were fine with that. Another thing that I thought would be an issue is because I'm self-employed and I've been self-employed for 5 years. I've heard self-employed people in the past say that it was really difficult for them to get a mortgage. I don't know whether that's because I've been self-employed for over 5 years and I have like all my documents from the past 5 years of how much tax that I've paid, how much I've earned, and the fact that how much I earn was like above a certain threshold and how much tax I paid. I don't know, or maybe they just saw how much I had in my savings and I don't know, they just didn't ask any questions, which was surprising because I genuinely thought that it would have been difficult and I wouldn't have been able to get one. But yeah, everything was fine. I got a mortgage and then you send through like all the documents, proof of everything, proof of money, proof of deposit. Then you have kind of, well, I did anyway, I went with Nationwide because my mum is with Nationwide. It's going to be different for each mortgage company, but after I'd applied for the mortgage, I had a Zoom call with a man. Could be a woman, but I had a Zoom call with a man. This bit of hair is really annoying me because it's just a bump. I had a Zoom call with a man, and this is where I really messed up. I agreed to be in a 5-year fixed rate contract, which in hindsight was a massive mistake, but I hadn't done my research and I really should have done my research. So to anyone that's thinking about getting a mortgage, please, that literally didn't make it any better, please do your research, because the issue is, if I wanted to sell now within 5 years, which I'm not sure if I want to or I'm going to, but having the option there would have at least been nice. Whereas now I don't have that option. I have to keep the house for 5 years. Well, I don't have to, but it's just like it comes down to finances and my financial situation. If I wanted to sell this year, I'd have to pay like an early exit fee, that's what they call it, of £6,000 because I'm in this 5-year fixed rate contract. Next year I would owe like 4,000, the year after that 3,000, and the year after that probably 1,000, and then when you leave the 5-year period you owe nothing if you want to sell. The only pros to it is that you know that the mortgage isn't going to go up and down, because sometimes the mortgage rate can increase with inflation, whereas when you enter a fixed rate it's that set price for 5 years, and I agreed to pay £700 per month, which might seem quite a lot. I don't know if it's a lot or not actually. He asks what price can you pay monthly. You could only pay £200 if you really wanted to. It just extends the period of your mortgage, like a 25-year period mortgage or a 50-year mortgage. I am hopefully planning to pay the mortgage off. Not right now or within 5 years, but at least I think within 10 years I'm planning to do that, or at least exchange this house for a more expensive house and do the whole renovation project again, just on a bigger house. But definitely research into that because I did not, and that was a bit of a problem. When you've had your mortgage in principle, you put an offer in and then you've got the actual mortgage, you will get it all sent through to email, and I think there's an estate agent and it's all sorted between them anyway. You don't really actually have to do anything when you buy a house. It's all sorted between the solicitor, the estate agent, the mortgage advisor. You will then have the option to book in for a survey. We just went for a basic survey because we knew that we were going to be kind of ripping everything out anyway. We just wanted to check for bigger things like, is there any structural issues that means we would have to knock the house down, or subsidence, meaning that the house is sinking into the floor. Major things like that. A few things came up to do with damp and damp proofing, but nothing major, so that was fine. I paid, I think it was £200 for a survey. My solicitor fees were actually quite cheap. I only paid £900. I say only, like it is expensive, but compared, I only paid £900 for my solicitor, and from start to finish the whole sale took 5 to 6 months, which is quite a long time, but I actually think that's pretty standard. It's just confusing because on my side it was chain free and on the seller's side it was chain free, so you would think that it would take a shorter amount of time. It didn't, it took forever. Another thing I would recommend, I nearly forgot this but I wrote it down, well, the first day that you get the keys, write down, well, check first the electric readings and the gas meter readings, write it down. That way you won't get into any issues, because with me, I didn't do this, and for months I was getting bills sent from E.ON, which was the old owner's energy supplier, and I wasn't with E.ON, I'm with Octopus, so I was thinking, oh, what's going on? Why is it saying they're gonna, like, what is the word, they were going to sell my debt on. Debt collectors were going to come round, they were going to sell my debt to debt collectors. I hadn't wrote down on the day that I moved in, and I hadn't given it to my new company, the electric meter reading and the gas meter reading, so it all kind of got mixed up, and they wanted me to pay for some of the old owner's usage, which obviously I didn't want to do. So yeah, just always write that down and show proof the first day that you get the keys. That's the first thing you need to do, so you don't get into any debt with any electrical company, because it is, well, I got the keys in February, it's now August. Well, it's August tomorrow, and I'm still getting emails from E.ON saying that I owe money, and I don't understand. So yeah, definitely do that. Not many people actually ask me a lot of questions on this Instagram story question box, so next time if you're on my Instagram story and you do see one of these boxes, ask away, like ask as many questions as you want so I can make another chatty video like this just answering questions. Yeah, thanks for watching guys. I will see you either in the next video or I'll see you tomorrow and we can do like an electric update, a shower tray update. Yeah, I'm sorry that this video kind of jumped location. My phone, I need a new phone because it just kept dying and turning off and then overheating. I need a new phone, but I can't afford a new phone right now. That's the problem. That's the issue. But yeah. I was gonna say, so in one of my recent videos I mentioned that my kitchen is really small, and everyone, not this kitchen, the kitchen at my renovation house, I mentioned my kitchen is really small, and everyone was saying, what are you on about, like that's a pretty decent sized kitchen. This is where I currently live, and I would say that this is quite a big kitchen. So that's probably why I've been spoiled at my mum's house. It's not a massive kitchen, but it's a pretty decent sized kitchen, like it's got all that side. It's quite a big room. Definitely been spoiled living at my mum's because it is quite a nice sized house, and we have quite a big garden, I would say. I think it's a big garden. I don't live in a mansion, but it's a nice sized house. Where I'm moving is a lot smaller, but we all have to start somewhere. We all have to start somewhere. Being on the property ladder as it is still a huge achievement, whether my house is tiny or not, and even the location isn't that great, but it's okay. I'll see you tomorrow.